So many people talk about couples counseling, try couples counseling, and end up being so frustrated. And this is for sure the case whenever you're dealing with one partner who's emotionally destructive in any way. So today I'm going to be talking about why that is and what to do about it. And even if you're not in an emotionally destructive relationship or something that's just wildly toxic, why sometimes couples counseling is not the right choice. I'm Ketra Thompson, and I'm a certified master hypnotist and a life recovery coach. So before I jump into this topic, I just want to remind you to hit like and subscribe so you can be notified every time I post a new video. And if you'd like to learn more about how to work with me, check out the link in the description. There's a link to my website where there's an easy place to set up that consultation phone call that we can have so you can find out all the details that you need to know to find out if what I do is a right fit for you and what you're needing in your life. So be sure to check that out. So whenever someone starts talking about struggling in their marriage, the first suggestion that someone gives them is couples counseling. And I'm just going to tell you right now, that shit is a bad idea a lot of the time. So you end up walking into a couples counseling session where you're hoping to figure things out, but the entire thing becomes a blame game, and you come out of that session feeling more pissed off than you ever were to begin with. There's more confrontation, there's more arguments, and it can feel like nothing ever really gets resolved. So this definitely happens in toxic relationships, but it can also happen in non-toxic relationships as well because of the way that the dynamic is set up in those couples counseling situations. So even if you're not dealing with emotional abuse, this is going to be helpful information for you as well. But if you're already deep in the quicksand of emotional abuse, a toxic relationship, you're already probably dealing with manipulation, projections, bullying, and all kinds of gaslighting. So you go into couples counseling knowing that there's a severe problem with one spouse and needing to address the elephant in the room because let's face it, everyone has issues, right? But the thing is, in an emotionally destructive relationship, there is a big issue, the elephant in the room, that has to be addressed. If there's betrayal trauma, manipulation, mind games, all of that has to be addressed before you can do the coming together work in, say, an average relationship. But if you're in the average relationship that isn't hugely destructive, you still can be having issues because there's triggers underneath and there's things driving the behavior patterns in each person that you're likely not aware of, and the other person isn't aware of their issues either. So couples counseling just becomes an extension of what they're already doing, an extension of the arguments that these people are already having, and they just stay on the hamster wheel going round and round and really not getting anywhere, not creating traction, not creating a plan, not creating connection, healing, repair work. It just becomes sort of a bitch session. The missing pieces from the couples counseling experience are usually something around deep connection, deep repair work that doesn't typically happen in a session together once a week. So you're probably wondering, what is this secret thing? What is the key to getting the things fixed that you want to see fixed in your relationship? And the truth is, it's deep self-work. That has to come first. And it's not just any work. It's specific, deep self-work that helps the individual heal the parts of themselves on a very deep level so they can actually engage and interact in a way that's constructive with their partner. It really requires each person to do their own individual subconscious work so that they can address those patterns that are sabotaging their relationship. They can address their fears. They can address all of these feelings that are driving their behavior that have likely been created earlier in their life, most likely in childhood, and they have triggers now surrounding these feelings and emotions, and it's keeping them from engaging effectively with their partner. And then it also requires coming together after that work is done to do the repair work. if there's been damage done, it's very important that repair work happens. And so you can't just do the part on yourself. Both people need to do the work on themselves, and then they need to come together to do the repair work and to start integrating their new selves into the relationship. And that's why I've developed an entire process that actually works. Takes all of these pieces from all over the place that used to have couples, going to multiple people and multiple places trying to figure out how to make this work. And I put it all together in one place so that there is the opportunity for each person to do their own deep work and come together to create that deep connection and create a meaningful relationship. Even if just one person does the work, they're still going to end up being so much better off than they were before. But if both people do the work, then you have an actual, real chance to have a relationship that is amazing, to come together in a way that you never thought you could before. You can create a relationship where you are so connected, that you are so tuned in to yourself and to one another, that there is an ease and flow and mutual respect when you do things in the right order with the right processes. The thing is, when each person does their own inner subconscious work, then they're eliminating those triggers. Those triggers are coming from your subconscious mind, and our subconscious mind drives over 95% of everything we think, feel, and do. And so if that's the case, these inner triggers have to be dealt with on a subconscious level in order to stop the reactivity, in order to stop the emotions from leading everything that's going on in your life and get to a place where you can finally feel calm and centered and able to communicate clearly. My process also includes the right tools to create a vulnerable connection, because let's face it, vulnerability is key to connection, to authentic, deep, and lasting connection. We all need it. We all need it from each other, and we all need to start being vulnerable with ourselves and getting really honest with ourselves if we expect to connect with our partner in an honest way. This allows you to move to an entirely new level, personally on your own and connected in your relationship. Because who wants to sit there talking about the same crap every week, week after week, month after month, year after year, and never getting anywhere, never creating any change, because all you're doing is talking in your conscious mind and not addressing the issue on a subconscious level. So whatever you choose to do, don't ignore your own deep personal work. That work is not always easy. It can be hard. It can be gut-wrenching. You have to really get real with yourself. And doing that alone isn't the best choice, because we are battling in our own mind then against our voices that are coming from that subconscious programming, and it just becomes exhausting. The other part of this that I don't want to ignore here is how necessary it is to have accountability, especially if you're dealing with an addiction issue, betrayal trauma, manipulation, control tactics. It's very important when there's significant repair to do that there is an accountability factor in any work that couples choose to do together. The accountability gives peace of mind to the wounded partner, and it gives accountability to the one making changes, which helps them know that there's a boundary in place. There's consequences for their actions, and those are very clear, and everyone understands the rules that are being played by. This is why both components are so important. Doing that deep inner self work and coming together so that you can also do the repair work needed so that you can have the relationship that you want to have, that you aren't just stuck staying in this rut where you're miserable and doing the same things over and over and magically hoping that you're going to get different results. This allows for accountability to be a part of the process, and it really allows for both people to grow and change and shift, and while they're doing that, to also grow together so that they're building something that is very interdependent and not too codependent and not too extremely independent, but something that's vulnerable and real. So what's one thing that you can do today to start this process for yourself? First of all, you need to start prioritizing yourself. You need to stop appeasing the other person just for the sake of keeping the peace if it is just sweeping stuff under the rug and not getting to the heart of the issue. You actually have to decide that you want something better, that you want something different. And it starts with your mindset, and it starts with the decision for you personally to do something new, to do something different, to take charge of your life again. And you are the only one that can do that for you. With the right help, you can access your subconscious mind and reframe those belief systems around those traumas, around those childhood issues, even around some adult life issues of things that have happened to you. And you can do it in a healthy way so that it's properly integrated. This all allows you to finally be deeply connected to your own self-worth. It allows you to feel that confidence inside, to feel like you know your value, and that value doesn't come from an external source. It's coming from the inside of you once you've been able to reconnect to your own self-worth and reframe those belief systems that were never meant to be there in the first place. You can finally have the confidence to create and hold boundaries. And you can make that request of your partner that they do their own work as well, that they maybe join you in this program to do their own work and then come together. But I want to say, you can never make someone else change. You can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make it drink. You cannot force a heart change or for someone to be truly dedicated to wanting the same change as you. Authentic change is an inside job. It requires you to make the decision to create authentic change in your own life. And maybe your spouse is on board to do the same. But all change has to start with yourself. Hypnotherapy is an incredibly rapid and transformational way that you can make these changes, but not from just a headspace, from an actual place of action, something that really changes the course of how you live your life. And the thing about hypnotherapy is that it works after everything else has failed and everyone's tried every other path, and they finally resort to something that actually accesses their subconscious mind, and that's where they finally feel that transformation. And now that I have a program for couples to do their own deep internal work and for them to come together and do the repair work and the communication work and the rebuilding process of creating an amazing relationship, you now have the option to have both worlds in one place, the best of both worlds. So I am incredibly excited to be offering this option to clients who want to do their own personal work, but even more so to those couples who are ready to make a lasting change. So when you're ready to finally make that change, to finally make that subconscious shift in a deep way that is going to create lasting change so you can create the life that you want, get your confidence back, and connect to your self-worth, then set up the consultation. You won't regret it. Find out if we are a good fit to work together and get all of your questions answered, because having clarity and making a decision from a place of clarity is so much more empowering than just floundering through life and trying to figure it out on your own. The truth is, when you change yourself, you change your world. And I wouldn't want you to miss out on that. So until next time, curate a life by your own design.